Matt, good morning, good morning, good morning. Curtis, what's up, brother? How you doing? GJ looking good. GJ looking good. I would actually take, let's zoom into the 15. I would actually take GJ right now. Even though it's a little bit past the move, if you zoom into the 15, we're a little bit past the move, but nonetheless, you'd be safe to take it and then just hold it out. I would take GJ right now on the sell. I would take GJ right now. Let's see, let's wait for a couple people to come in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, we got USD news in about an hour and a half. USD news in about an hour and a half. Or actually in about 30 minutes, I lied to you. USD news in about 30 minutes. So I would wait about an hour to trade anything USD. It's a member Evans speak, so it's going to most likely be pretty volatile, and price is going to move either real high up or real low down. I know a lot of people were goofing around in the chat last night saying buy gold, full leverage, full whatever, full margin. I would not do that. Do not do that just yet. But nonetheless, wait about an hour to trade anything USD. So we're just going to take a look at 3 pairs this morning, just because it doesn't make any sense to look at anything else. Again, GJ right now on a sell. It's a little bit past the move, so if you haven't caught it, be careful, but you may have to hold it a little longer. You may have to suffer some drawdown if you haven't got in on a sell yet on GJ, but it's a perfect break and retest. We got the break right here. We got the retest right here. And it is pushing. If you zoom into the 15-minute, it already has passed that retest candle. So this was your break, this is your retest, and this was your break right here. So, or this is your sell entry right here once it passed that wick of that retest candle. I know we usually use the 30-minute and the hour, but it is okay to zoom into the 15 sometime if you have multiple confirmations of a break and retest going on. So don't feel bad about going to the 15. Anything lower than the 15, that you're wasting your time. You will get faked out a ton if you go to the 5, the 1. It's just pointless. So GJ sells right now would be a good move for sure. Definitely something I would take. Hopefully everybody's doing good this morning. So anything USD, I would wait an hour or so to trade. I definitely wouldn't trade anything USD. So we're just going to take a look at GJ. We're going to take a look at EJ. And we're going to take a look at GN. What's the spreads looking like this morning? GJ spreads only 15, between 15 and 20. So it is good to take. It's not like above 50 or anything crazy like that. Everything else, GN is about around 20. And then what else did I say we'd look at? EJ. Don't have EJ added for some reason. And the spread on EJ is only about 12. So GJ sells right now would be a great move to take. Let's go ahead and put that short position in where you would take it at. Let's zoom into the 15 real quick. If you took it like right here, would be a great position. Have your stop loss. It automatically puts it at a 1-to-1 if you're using TradingView. Just zoom out. Zoom out a little bit. This is a 1-to-1, so it would show you exactly where you would place it if you were doing 1-to-1. What's it got it at about? Let's see. It's got it at about 30 pips. I believe close to 30 pips. Yep. You see this 0.29. It's about 30 pips. So if you guys were entering on a sale, this would be a good place to have your stuff set at. So it should continue to tank. We'll see. On the 4 hour, it's not a super strong downtrend by any means. It just crossed that EMA, but it is pushing to the downside, and lately it has been angling down. You zoom into the hour, there is slight confluence because the 4 hour was to the downside, just wasn't a strong trend. You zoom into the hour, it's definitely nice separation. Zoom into the 30-minute, tons of separation between your 75 EMA, that's this right here, and price. So it's definitely pushing down. I would definitely only take sales this morning. Now, you know, it may pull back. It may pull back and touch this zone, but don't get scared. Set your numbers. That's why I say set it and forget it. Set your stop loss and let it ride. Let it do its thing, because the market's going to do what it wants to anyway. So as long as you know that this is a great analysis, let that build your confidence and your patience. Set your stop loss, set your take profit, and let it do its thing. Even if you got to hold it for 2 hours, that's fine. Like, holding it for 2 hours is better than holding it for 5 minutes and losing. So Good morning, good morning, good morning. Any questions you guys got, drop them in this YouTube chat right here. Also, if you would do me a favor just to amuse me, tap that thumbs up button on YouTube. Even though it's not live, tap that thumbs up button for your boy. Just let me know I'm doing a great job as your mentor, your teacher, your friend. I got your back. All right, so we know sales on GJ. If you don't want to take that, let's look at EJ. 4-hour downtrend. It's not angling. It's not real sexy. It's not angling too far down, but nonetheless, there's definitely separation in there on the 4-hour. Zoom into the 1 hour. We do have confluence. Nice separation. Zoom into the 30-minute. It's kind of moving just side to side. You see this right here. You can draw like a little box. This is something I used to do. You can still do it. You see a box like this. If it's moving side to side, you would just wait until that box was broken out of. And you could draw it from wick to wick. That's your call. I would draw it something like this. But really it's just moving in side to side in this area right here. So it's ranging, consolidating side to side. Not anything sexy. You don't want to trade it until it breaks out of there. In this zone right here, you can move it up. Let's look at the hour real quick. I would keep it right there. So EJ, I would only look for sales, and I would wait until that 117.83 area started. That 117 just 800 area in general, I would wait till price pushes down to there before you start looking for any sales. You know the rules. Look for the break, look for the retest, look for the drop. But right now, there's no setup on EJ. Not one that I would take. So, any questions so far? Kendrick, good morning. Jose, Callum, good morning. Good morning. Mike, Mitch, Ryan, Matt, Curtis, good morning. Good morning. If anybody else is watching, good morning to you too. We'll have us a great hump day. Get Liddy 6 titties in these markets real quick. Again, if you just jumped in, USD news is in about 24 minutes. So wait until 7:30 or wait until 8:30 a.m. Eastern for any trades. Wait till about 8:30 a.m. Eastern for any trades. It is a member. Evan speaks. So yeah, it's probably gonna drive some price either up or down. We don't know what's gonna happen. There's no real way to predict it. You can look at past news and see what the numbers and the analytics say, but there's no real way to predict it. So GN 4-hour uptrend, definitely on the upside. It's been angling down though, so keep that in mind as well. It's approaching that EMA. So we zoom into the hour. No confluence. It is moving down currently. So that's up to you as a trader. If there's no confluence, you could try to trade it both ways. You could look for the sales or the buys. That's up to you as a trader. But if you want added confirmation, you want it to line up on the 4-hour, the hour, and like the 30-minute. But the 4-hour and the hour are where you really want it to line up. Those are major time frames as far as scalping goes, as far as how I trade my style. So you usually want, if you saw a 4-hour uptrend, you'd want the hour to be an uptrend as well. As far as the EMA, you'd want it to be on the upside. And it's not real far above right here, so it's not a strong uptrend by any means, and there is separation on the downside. So you could look for sales this morning on GN. You don't have to rely on the EMA, but it's just added confirmation, especially a 75 EMA. That's a pretty strong period. So I mean, that's a lot of price moves and data back behind that, but nonetheless, you could trade it however you want to. If you are looking for sales, it did break through this zone right here. This could be considered a zone right through here. Let's zoom out to the hour though. This could be considered a zone. It broke, it retested, and you could look to sell. Just keep that in mind that this is a zone down here as well. That this is a zone down here. So you could look to sell. If you zoom into the 30-minute, you had your break. This was your retest. It pushed below, then it did pull back though. But it did retest that area multiple times again, rejected it. So it clearly doesn't want to go up right now. So you could sell somewhere below this zone, but just keep that in mind that this area is down here. So I personally wouldn't sell until it started to get to this area down here, and decided if it was going to actually close below this area right here. Let's make that a line for you. So this area across the board, you see rejection here, here, all across here. On the upside, you got it boom right here, and it's pretty close right here as well. So I would wait until this zone right here, this 1.963, about 3.3 area. Wait till that gets closed down below to confirm if it's going to continue to go down. Because remember, if you go to the 4-hour, it is pushing to the upside. Overall, the trend is up, but we'll see what happens. So GN, not a surefire setup right now. GJ though is pushing down. It's a beautiful setup this morning. So that's definitely the one that I would have took for sure. I wish we didn't have USD news, because then we could stay on and go over the USD pairs. But there's really no point in going over USD stuff, because If you look at like all USD, it could shoot up. Any of these could shoot up. So we really just wait till after news, and then we could go over them in the Telegram chat. But for right now, there's really no point in going over anything USD at this moment. But if you have any other questions, if you're struggling with anything on your trading, anything that you've experienced lately, go ahead, drop it in this chat right here, and let's talk about it real quick. I am here to help. No, I don't have to get on here every morning, but I do choose to get on here because I know it helps you guys out. I know seeing the visuals and hearing how I break things down really helps, so I will do that as long as I possibly can, which for the foreseeable future, I'll be doing it. So I do this to help you guys. So if you have questions, please ask them. That's what I'm here for. You don't have to do this on your own. That's what you paid me for. That's what we're here for, to grow, to learn, to fuck up, and to learn from those and get better. So ask questions. You can't learn if you don't ask. But if you're a pro trader and you already know how to do this stuff, keep doing your thing. But just don't get upset if you start losing a bunch of trades and you don't know what's going on. Ask questions. I'll try my very best to help you. If I don't know the answer, I will find you the answer. You're welcome, brother. Of course. This might be an extremely short stream. It's all good, though. Let's see what GJ is going to do. Going through that pullback stage right now. When that USD news comes out, GJ could make a little move. Because USD is such a major currency, it could be affected by it, but nonetheless, you should be all right. It should be pretty good. Let's see where GJ could end up. If we go to the 4 hour, yeah, I'd say that's a pretty damn good spot for a zone right there. This is like a perfect trade setup right here. Now, if it follows the rules, only time will tell. But right there, where our take profit is set, is probably where it's going to show a little bit of sign of rejection. So we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, though, where we entered from that 133, 14 area, or 133, like we'll say 100 area, till 132, 800. I mean, we get about 30 pips in there, hopefully 20 to 30 pips in there, and then you're done for the day. Let it do its little pullback thing. Let it tease you and mess with your patience, mess with your mentality, and try to scare you, but it's not going to do anything. In about 15 minutes, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to let you guys get to the charts, and I will be in the chat. If I'm not in the chat during the day, it's because I'm working, because I'm doing other business things, and I do see your chats eventually when I see them throughout the day. If it's a question that I need to respond to, I definitely respond to it. Please believe I see all your questions. But throughout the day, just like any other business, I'm working, I'm grinding. So don't be offended if I don't respond to you within 30 seconds. I do see your chat. That's why I made it a group chat, because somebody else in the chat may be more experienced, and they can answer your question right away. Now, if I see somebody say some bullshit in the chat and it doesn't make any sense, and I don't like what they're talking about and it's not true, from my experience, then I will nip it in the ass real quick. I will say it is incorrect, and I will give my opinion on it. But nonetheless, I always see your questions, and I'll always get back to you. If it's something important that needs answered right away, I'll try my best to get to it right away. But if it's just a random question like, goals drop, if it says goals drop, like, I'm not going to pull up my charts and rush to a computer to look at my charts, or open my phone and end what I'm doing just to look at what goals are doing in the middle of the day when you shouldn't be trading. Why I use the 75 EMA, I did use a 50 there for a while, Callum. I believe when you first started, I was using the 50, but the 75 is just more data behind prices, past moves, 75 periods past. It's just more overall confirmation of what the current trend is and what's really going on in the market. Now, I personally don't need an EMA. I use the EMAs as visuals for you guys. It's pretty easy for me to spot trend. Like, I could go to the 4 hour and identify it's an uptrend for the most part, but it has been angling down lately. Like, you see all this blank space right here, clearly an uptrend. But as of late, as of these periods past right here, it has been pushing down. So it pushes towards that EMA. And once it gets close to that EMA, once it starts crossing, that means price is at an indecision point and you wouldn't want to be trading right then. I know people that trade based on the EMA and they trade like once it crosses and they try to scalp what's going on based on their EMA. I don't think that's a good move. But I like having the EMA as just a little added extra confirmation to show what's currently going on in the market. And once it starts to cross over, that means it's at a pivot point. So it'd be good to start looking at a trend reversal. So, and you can make money on that. So that's why I use the 75 EMA. You can use 100, you can use a 200, whatever you feel. But the 50 and the 75, as long as I've been trading, have been go-to. That's been money for sure. But I mean, if you don't like EMAs and you don't like, I only use one EMA. Like I use EMAs and I use support and resistance zones. I like trading what they call naked. I like trading naked. One EMA is all I use. So you could say I don't trade naked because there's one EMA, one indicator. But other than that, you don't need all those fancy indicators that they got in here. You don't need all those at all. All those are bullshit. They're man-made. It's to give you the impression that trading is easy, to try to fool you into thinking this one little thing you add to your chart that everybody has access to for free can help you win trades. That's bullshit. It's not going to work. Trade naked. Learn how to read the market. Learn how to read the charts and make your analysis based on what's going on, what you see, not what some fancy man-made, computer-made object tells you is going on. The EMA is just a little added bonus. You don't need it by any means, but it's just an added bonus to give you a clear visual of what trend is. Knowing what the trend is doesn't teach you how to trade the trend. You got to learn how to trade the trend. So seeing what the trend is doesn't actually help you with entry techniques and where to make money at. It just shows you, okay, this is what's going on in the market. Now I got to figure out how the hell I'm gonna go about trading that. Exactly. Indicators are usually way behind as well. When they tell you a trend is swapping, some of them that are like oscillators and shit like that, when they tell you the trend is swapping, it's usually like hours behind, or it's behind enough to where if you enter based on that, you're going to lose. So this morning, to conclude, GJ is doing a pullback right now, but nonetheless, that sales setup is the best setup we see right now. We'll see what happens when New York session starts. We'll see if there's any setups that pop up when New York session starts. And if you didn't enter this, if you don't enter this at all, don't feel bad. You don't have to enter this. You can wait until USD news comes out and go on about your business. I know a lot of people are getting ready for work or already at work. So don't feel like you got to force a trade right now. Wait till you're comfortable on the entry. All right. All right, well, while we wait for this to play out and do its thing, we wait for USD news. I'm gonna hop over to the Telegram chat, drop your questions in there as usual. Send screenshots if you see a setup or you want me to review a setup. Make sure you send a screenshot, whether it's from your trading view or your MT4, send a screenshot. It's real easy to break it down in the chat. I could usually grab your screenshot right there and draw on the charts if I see anything needs change. So drop your questions in the Telegram chat. That's where we're moving it over to. Let's get some money this morning.